there, it's Jacques from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to another edition of the Magic the Gathering Market Watch. Now, Eldritch Moon release weekend is upon us, and the exciting news is going to be the first weekend we see actual tournament results. So expect there to be a lot of changes in value of cards over the course of the week. This is a big week, maybe not quite as big as what we'll see in a couple weeks when the Pro Tour hits, and folks will kind of wait to see what the pros bring to the table, and then they'll want to invest into some of their standard decks for the season. So the market is going to be pretty volatile and standard for the next couple weeks. Now, in addition to standard, as always, we're going to look at modern, which is starting to heat up a little bit compared to the last few weeks, and legacy, which is still just insanity with all the buyouts, and you'll see that once we get there. But let's start off with standard. We're going to look at the top 5 cards that have lost value this week. Not a lot of changes here if you've been watching the series over the last few months. These, again, are cards that are standard staples, or at least were standard staples in previous standard seasons. They're a little soft right now. Players don't want to invest in a high-priced card if the meta is going to change. Now, if any of these cards do hit over the next few weeks, they could stop falling and start going back up in value, so you want to keep a close eye on these cards. Coming in number 5 is Dragonlord Ojutai, which is down $1.11 to $8. Number 4 is Chandra Flamecaller, down $1.24 to $13.49. Number 3 is Archangel Avacyn, down $1.24 to $19.99. Number 2 is Kalatas, Trader of Get, down $1.34 to $24.89. Out of all the cards that have been dropping, I think this one has the most potential to rebound a little bit, just because I think it could see play in perhaps a new zombie build in standard, as well as some other possibilities for this card. So keep an eye on it over the next few weeks. Again, back at the top spot, Jace Vryn's Prodigy, losing $1.40 to $31.76. And if you're in the market to pick up a Jace, or actually probably any of these cards that you've been seeing drop for a number of weeks, check out some of the big marketplaces like eBay or Amazon or TCG Player. There's a lot of investors or stores that are trying to liquidate what they have, just simply because they've been dropping so consistently. And you'll be able to find these for cheaper than even the value you're seeing here. Now let's look at the top 5 standard cards that have gained value this week, and you're going to see some cards here that are tried and true and have been seeing play, and you're going to see some cards that have yet to see play, but a lot of folks are playtesting with them and speculating that they will be something for the new standard season. Coming in number 5 is Digraph Colossus, up 13 cents to $1.99. Good indication a lot of players are still hedging their bets that zombies will be a thing in standard. Coming in number 4, for the same reasons, Prized Amalgam of 14 cents to $2.10. Number 3 is Rattle Chains, up 16 cents to $3.99. I think this was actually number 1 for us last week, if I'm not mistaken. Again, potentially, maybe there's a Spirit deck coming. We'll see within the next few weeks. Number 2 is Bygone Bishop, up $17 to $1.17. Now, this is a card that's actually already been seeing play, has been seeing play for a long time in standard, and will continue to see play, no doubt. It's in a lot of times the mono white, or the green white, or the band decks. Number 1 is Matter Reshaper, going up $1.11 to $3.66. Again, another card that potentially could get better just because it plays very well with the merge mechanic, but really doesn't even need to. I mean, right now this card is already seeing standard play. It's seeing play in modern, and of course the Bant Eldrazi deck, which is getting more and more popular, and it's also even seeing legacy play in the Legacy Eldrazi deck. So this is one of those cards being pulled in a lot of different directions. Keep an eye on this card. Considering it only costs $3.66, this might be a good one to pick up some copies of if you don't already have them. Alright, let's move on to Modern, and we're going to look at the cards that lost value this week. We're going to see here some normal stabilization combined with some cards that are coming down off of potential buyouts. Coming in number 5 is Future Sight Tarmogoyf, losing $1.44 to $170.95. Tarmogoyf's actually come down quite a bit over the last month or two, and I'm not super surprised. I'm a little surprised it didn't happen sooner. I mean, you can get a Modern Masters 2015 version of Goyf a lot cheaper than the Future Sight version, even though a lot of players prefer the aesthetics of the Future Sight, as well as the fact that Modern Masters 2015 did have some print defects. Now, having said that, if you just want to play with the card, it doesn't really matter too much. So if you're actually in the market for any of the Modern Masters 2015 cards, it's not a bad place to go to pick up singles. You can usually find them cheaper than their counterparts, and they work just as well in a tournament. And on a side note, if you want to pick up anything from Eternal Masters, this is also a good time to do so. Those cards are probably as cheap as they're ever going to be. Number 4 is Tezzeret Agent Bolas. This is down $1.46 to $25.19 this week, and this card spiked back when Sword of the Meek was unbanned a number of months ago, and it has seen play. It will continue to see play. It's just stabilizing, finding its proper price in the market. Number 3, River of Tears, down $1.61 to $9.54. This card spiked last week, really looked like a buyout, or at least a mini buyout, and already the price is starting to come down. Number 2, Mishra's Bauble, down $2.40 to $17.99. Now this card saw a pretty big spike last week, although I don't really think it was market manipulation. I think it was the fact that the Modern Suicide Zoo deck is starting to really take off, so a lot of players are picking these up, and it's still very high at $17.99, but it did come down a couple dollars this week, so I expect this to continue to drop a little bit as players start to get their cards. I really don't think this one was a buyout. And coming at number 1, Nimbus Maze, down $4.72 to $26.57. Of course, this was a victim of a buyout a few weeks ago, and as more of these cards get reintroduced into the market, they're starting to come down already. All right, let's look at the top 5 modern cards that have gained value this week. Coming in number 5 is Doubling Season from Modern Masters. It's up $1.52 to $42.39. This is a casual favorite, and not surprised to see this increasing. I could see this becoming a $50, $60 card within the not too distant future. Number 4, Through the Breach, up $1.89 to $31.49. Not only does this see Modern play, but also sees play in Legacy and Sneak and Show. Number 3, Ancestral Vision, up $2.35 to $51.95. So this was unbanned, and it has climbed since it was unbanned a couple months ago. And that's due to the fact that it is seeing play, and the most popular deck right now using it is the Nahiri Modern deck. Number 2 is Counterbalance, up $4.26 to $21.11. Now, I think what happened with Counterbalance was a lot of players were a little shy picking them up because there was speculation out there that it was either going to be banned or Sensei's Divining Top was going to be banned because the fact that in Legacy, the Miracles deck has been very, very strong. I think once that ban didn't happen, a lot of people were interested in perhaps buying into the Miracles deck. Sensei's Divining Top recently reprinted in Eternal Masters. However, Counterbalance, the other big piece of that combo, was not actually ever reprinted. The only place you can get it is Cold Snap. Coming in number 1 is Brushlands. We're looking at the 9th and 10th edition versions here. 9th went up $2.67 to $10. 10th edition went up $7.43 to $18.94. Here's the story behind this card. Now, a few months back, this saw a nice spike when the Bant Eldrazi deck became popular in Modern. It's still a very good deck, still seeing a lot of play. However, over the last few weeks, this card started to come down a little bit as players got their copies. Now this feels like a buyout, or at least a mini buyout. This is just a very unnatural spike kind of out of nowhere for this card. Now granted, I do think a lot of players prefer the 10th edition version over many other versions just because the print quality was really good, and arguably a lot of players like the 10th edition art a little better than some of the older versions. However, having said that, you can get an Ice Age copy of this card still for $6 to $7, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because there are a lot of players that also prefer the older border and just the original version of the card. So having said that, if you want to pick this up, you're in the market to play some Bant Eldrazi, go and get the Ice Age version. It's going to be much, much cheaper than spending the extra money on the 10th edition version. Even if personally, aesthetically, you may like the 10th edition version better, I wouldn't pay these prices for it. This is a very soft price and will be coming back down. All right, let's look at Legacy. And wow, reserve list cards, buyouts. There's not a whole lot new I can say about this that I haven't been saying. We're going to see here cards that were recently bought out that are coming back down in the market. Because these are higher price cards than like what we've been seeing in Modern, the crash is that much worse because the values are higher, and also anyone who's doing a buyout, for the most part, what they have to do is buy these out on credit and get them back into the market before they have to pay the interest on the credit, which is usually within a month to 3 months. So these cards are going up fast, they're going down fast. Let's see what's happening. Coming in at number 5 is Gravity Spear, down $7.45 to $37.99. Saw a little bit of a spike a couple weeks ago. Number 4, good old Lion's Eye Diamond, down $8.34 to $177.80. Perfect example of what I was talking about. This is a very expensive card. For folks to buy this out, they're going to, in most cases, have to put this on credit. These cards are quickly being reintroduced back into the market, and they've dropped quite a bit. Just a couple weeks ago, this was well above $200, already down below $180. This will continue to drop. Coming in number 3 is Savannah for Unlimited, down $10.96 to $164.87. Number 2 is Candelabra of Tawnos, another card that has seen a lot of volatility, a lot of buyouts, a lot of crashing, and also a card that sees play, which makes it a little bit awkward. So it's down $84 to $550. Number 1, Jazam Djinn. This card has been all over the board this week. Now, technically, it's down $143 to 93 However, at one point this week, this was up to $1,000. I don't even know what's going on here. I mean, this is massive market manipulation for this card. It looks like there was a buyout. Maybe a seller listed this card very, very high. This is nuts right now. For whatever reason, if you want to buy this card, just steer clear of it this week and probably the next couple weeks until things stabilize. I honestly don't know what's going on with this card. It does see some play in the old school format. There is a black deck that wants to run 4 of these, but that is, comparatively speaking, a relatively small format. This is definite, obvious market manipulation. All right, let's look at legacy cards that have gained value this week. And again, these are going to be buyouts for the most part that are on the upside. Coming in number 5 is The Abyss. Now, not a huge increase here, $14.12 to $255.79. That might just be normal market trends. It's a very popular casual card. Coming in number 4, this one's new to our list. Power Artifact from Antiquities, up $21.06 to $48.54. And this is a reserve list card. Sounds like it's another buyout potentially. Number 3 is Nether Void, up $25.81 to $293.79. Again, another rare reserve list card from Legends. Coming in number 2 is Gauntlet of Might, up $28.99 to $199.99. This, of course, is the unlimited version. And here's another example of a card that is kind of a rare, sort of classic card, but at the same time, it's not a card that sees tons and tons of play. And you do want to keep that into account when you see these buyouts, because a lot of times I think people just see the buyout and they jump on the card because they think it's going to get worse, or just kind of brings it to their attention. And you want to be really careful about that, because that's really what causes these buyouts to work and for the value to go up. If people didn't jump on these values and buy these cards, then the buyout just wouldn't do anything. And you do have to think about cards that are popular in formats like Commander, Vintage, Legacy. Those are the cards that, unfortunately, when they are bought out, are going to maintain their value better than others. Although, like I said, buyouts in general do inflate the market. Even if it's a short-term buyout, the cards don't ever go back to where they were, if nothing else, just due to the hype and the increased demand that the buyout causes. And coming in number 1, it's back again. The Tabernacle of Pendrell, up $84.50 to $1,424.50. This card, it's hard to say. I mean, obviously, there's been speculators out there trying to pick these up when they can, but at the same time, it sees play. It's a card that players just want to get a hold of, and whenever you get to a price this high, you're going to see pretty large fluctuations just based on how the card was sold the previous week. So having said that, that's the market watch. And it has been crazy, especially in Legacy. So tune in next week. I'm expecting to see Standard really start to heat up, and potentially even Modern, as we start to see some actual tournament results from this weekend. So until then, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day.
Hey, thanks as always for watching. This video, like all my videos, was made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Even a donation of $1 helps me to keep growing this community and creating better quality videos for all of you. Check out our Patreon page for exclusive giveaways and future goals for the channel. If you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the MTG news, spoilers, set reviews, product openings, or finance videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a good day.